As befits my age, I'm rather interested in train engines. In fact, I've never been passionate about them, but I have had wonderful interest in what they were able to achieve to society from about the 1860s. Steam, locomotion, and the mass transport of goods and people at speed, and how quickly the train network developed throughout Europe. It was in 20 years, and I'd had the pleasure and been very fortunate to ride on the Indian train network, which is immense, pioneered by the British, duplicating what they had, and the network is extensive. This Caraboosh is a lovely example. There's the brake, and the brake, Westinghouse produced a safety brake and made a fortune from it. Many features in this stand out to me. There's the stove. Anyone putting in a heat shield, keep it away from the wall, as these are. They're about an inch away from the wall, not directly attached to the wall or the ceiling. The boiler. And I think the Spartan life and the vast distances and that sense of adventure. Simple desk, very nice design here. There's a bench, probably not sleeping, I don't think, but it might be, and with a desk at the end of it. Water, gathered water sink, power on. This is very nice, the lockers and the seats for looking out ahead above the goods carriages. Again, small lockers. Let's widen this up. Isn't it fantastic? The bare necessities of life. Here are the beds here. So it's laid out slightly different to the ones I've had before. I've not rerun it. Sprung bed, very, very nice. Comfort. Red flags. Flagging, torpedoes. There we are, the goods wagon. So it's the brake wagon, the Caraboosh. Wonderfully constructed. Wonderful sort of durability of these. I'll just run through the and this seems to have been in operation till quite recently. It's so the latest incarnation, the Caraboosh. What a wonderful experience travelling these thousands of miles of railroad, as you're inclined to call them. And how very appropriate, because we're near Railroad Pass. It's actually just down the road, and I find that a fascinating conduit of trucks and people going places. So please be patient with my indulgence. There's a wonderful stove for the very, very depths of winter. Use small pieces of thin paper to light the burner. Perhaps it's an oil stove. Yes, I think it is an oil stove. I think this is a match scale, really. the size of this really, I think, is an ideal size for two people. Isn't it odd? Everyone wants huge properties, larger properties, got to be bigger, better than it was before. But I'm very much of the mind that small can be beautiful. So again, please excuse my indulgence, my wafflings, my thoughts and ideas. There we are, pipe and lighter. Just as Mr. Henderson in the pub, he used to stalk his place at the bar. He used to mark his part of the bar. There would be a high stool, and on would go his fags and his lighter, and that marked his place at the bar in the pub for that evening. Someone's done the same in the Kazi. So there we are. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And it's wonderful about a museum, but as it's said, a museum should always be visited with another person. There's always something to discuss and to question and to quizzle and then to wander about. But certainly this is a fantastic place. And there we are. Waggons. Wonderful. And again, I was very fortunate visiting Ukraine before all this flared up again, and the abandoned goods yard there, which transported goods virtually across Russia, across that whole continent. It ends beside Japan at Vladivostok, and the same. I just got that sense of wonderful distance. Here's a goods wagon. Goods warehouse again. There we are. I've reminisced too much. Thank you for listening. If you've managed to stay the distance, and thank you for Clark County for this outside display. I find it evoking. Telegraph.